My wife is falling in love with her female best friend. Should I stay with her? This is OKOP, where we read the craziest stories on earth. I'm Sam, and John, should OP stay or should OP go away?
You know, I mean, the important thing here is fall in love with the best friend. Well, what about fall in love with me?
Yeah.
if you're in a relationship, right?
Yes.
I guess that's the question.
But potentially, maybe they start a third, you know?
That
maybe they're in a little poly relationship.
We have totally seen that happen. And maybe the partner is like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it.
We don't know, but you know what? We make blind assumptions on these. I'm going to assume that OP is falling in love with someone who is not the person they intended to be in a relationship with. I think they should go. Blind guess.
You think OP should leave the relationship?
Yeah.
Because his wife is in love with another person.
That's what I'm thinking.
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
But there's only one way to find out.
Spill that tea.
This comes from Throw RA All Make Queso. And they say, I, 30 male, think my wife, 29 female, is in love with her best friend.
Ouch.
Her female best friend.
That's not fun.
I have been married with my wife for 7 years, and we met 8 years ago in a church meeting, and we became friends. My wife is quiet, kind, and a beautiful woman. Any man's dream. Therefore, it was obvious that I fell for her instantly, although she always behaved with what I thought was shyness, not wanting to cuddle with me or only kissing me on rare occasions. We were both raised in Christian families in a part of the country that is really religious. But unlike me, her parents were always the type who follow the holy doctrine really seriously. So she has a traditional way of thinking about religion and how women should behave. So I always thought that it was because of that her behavior was like that. I'm already getting some red flags. Not necessarily that like red flags of her being a bad person.
Yeah.
But red flags of some suppressed sexuality.
Yes.
Well, let's keep going. Sometimes I think she looks like a robot. Oh no.
Oh dear. I love you.
But I love my friend more.
Oops.
Miscalculation.
Love bot not computing.
Sometimes I think she looks like a robot. She's nice and kind with everyone, but a couple of times I saw her staying all quiet, staring into space, like if she was dead. Oh man. Over the years, I began to take it as something normal in her personality because she always refused to go to the psychologist and always said that she's just like that. Dead? Babe, I'm sorry. I'm just staring blankly into the sky, not looking at you or anything, and a glaze falls over the eye. You know, I'm just like one of those people that acts like they're dead.
My soul is spilled out of my heart, but it's cool.
It's cool. I'm just one of those people. I'm one of those soulless people.
No.
Until 2 months ago, when she found out that the woman who was her best friend in high school was coming back to town.
Oh.
I have never seen her so happy and alive. I felt happy for her, thinking that what she needed was a female friend.
Right.
That's all she needed.
Just a friend.
Just someone to get close to.
But he says she's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. But you say she's just a friend, but maybe she's more.
She's probably more.
Yeah.
My wife never used to leave the house, but since that woman is staying in the town, she has been going out as much as possible. She became a different person, but not in a bad way. She looks full of life, and to be honest, I never saw her smile as much as when she tells me that she will go out with her friend for coffee. For the record, I'm not sure she's sleeping with her because she doesn't know how to lie, and her behavior with me never changed. So I think that's probably true. I think it's like the OP's wife is probably just like overcome with all these emotions.
She might not
even know.
100%. She might be completely unaware, but subconsciously, it's happening.
And there is a potential that like she is straight and not looking for a relationship with this woman and is just happy to have a female friend. It could 100%. Just be that.
Totally.
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
We're kind of getting some stuff stacked against us with like the super religiousness of it all.
That's right. Yeah.
But let's dive back in. I'm not going to deny it. Days ago, I started to feel jealous of that woman, that she is the reason my wife smiles so much and is on the phone all day. Out of pure curiosity, 3 days ago, I entered her Facebook and some albums were public. She had a lot of albums and I found pictures of her and my wife during high school. That woman was hugging my wife as if they were a couple. And some of the photos, they were holding hands or looking at each other with bright smiles, which is something she never does with me.
Oh, just those descriptions, they hurt.
That's the heartbreaking thing where it's like you see someone so happy if they're not with you. it's like, oh yeah, she's just dead inside. That's just her personality.
It's
And then
just
you
normal.
realize, no, it was you the whole time.
Oh God.
It's not his fault.
No. I don't think he's done anything wrong so far.
And it's also not even like he's shaming her for potentially being gay.
No. It seems like he's just like observing, like kind of third party.
Her family hates gay people, although my wife never talked ill about them, but just avoid talking about the topic, which now makes sense to me. I don't know whether to confront her because maybe I'm just thinking too much, or maybe she's in love with her ex-girlfriend. The only thing I'm sure of is she only looks happy talking about that woman, so I don't know what to do. And there are some relevant comments. But John, before we dive into the relevant comments, I think we need a little breakdown.
Yeah, we do.
What do you think OP should do? Like what are the options?
I mean, this is so challenging because, like we said, number one, the wife might not even realize what's happening. It could be a friend that she like actually is in love with, but isn't acknowledging her feelings because of her past.
And also, like, just because she smiles about, like, I smile about my dude friends all the time doesn't mean like I'm trying to hook up with them. Like, but maybe
sometimes you smile really.
Sometimes
hard,
I smile really good. Who got me smiling like that? I'm fucking cheesing.
That's right. So
half chubbed up.
I mean, as crazy and hard and all over the place as it is, I think he needs to have a conversation, not specifically about that, but just start kind of easing into it, perhaps. Like,
but what? How do you ease in? So,
hey, babe,
what are your intentions with that best friend?
Maybe the first step is just like talking about her. Like,
I think maybe just saying like, hey, I would love to hear about your guys' history.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, hey, like I'm so glad that she's come because it seems like, I mean, she's brought you so much happiness. Like, actually, how did you two meet? Like, I'm curious. Like,
and you could even say like, hey, I've noticed that you've been really happy lately. Something I haven't seen. Like, how do you feel that she's back? Like, how do you feel about our relationship?
Or even like, what if it's also like, I noticed you're really happy lately. I want to keep giving you that feeling, or like, I want you to keep having that feeling. I just wanted to see like, how can I help? Yeah. And maybe that's not even, and if she brings up the friend, then it's like, okay, because right now he's still inferring.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of, and I don't think just being happy to see someone is necessarily someone cheating or even emotionally cheating. I don't think we even have that yet, but let's dive into some relevant comments and see what the people have to say. So Yetta Gain It Tree says, yes, she does love her friend because she's her friend. All I saw in your post was a woman being excited that a close friend she hasn't seen in years is coming back, and there was a picture of them hugging. I'm assuming all this paranoia is from your religious upbringing because all I'm seeing is two women that are friends. Mm-hmm. If you should be asking anything, it's why you didn't see the clear loneliness your wife was feeling before this friend came back into her life, which is a good point. Like,
it is a great point.
No one's just like a dead inside and that's a personality. I just always thought she was dead inside. Like, I feel like that's disregarding how your wife's emotional and social needs.
Totally. I can't remember exactly, but I feel like he had some sort of conversation with her about it, or like touched on it a bit. Not
in terms of like their past relationship or anything.
Yeah. And clearly, if he did, nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
He said she wouldn't talk to a psychologist. That I think was, but that was kind of like it's a brief, like it's a skim. We're not even really diving into it.
OP responds, I referred to the way they held hands, especially because my wife and I never held hands. When we started dating, every time I tried to hold her or try to hug her or hold hands with her, she said no because she doesn't like romantic things. I always respected her boundaries about that, so I did get confused when I saw her in pictures like that with another person, which I think is
Yeah. And we're getting it from OP's POV, but like OP also has like the most knowledge on the situation. So
I think some people are not PDA people.
Yeah,
for sure. That exists. But I could also see where it's like, wait, but you were PDA with everyone before me.
Totally.
And your friends, and you won't even hold my hand. Like, I could see there being maybe another explanation, but I could see myself being insecure and like feel weird about that for sure.
And I feel like it's one of those things, it's hard to really explain in a story, but you kind of like know it when you see it. kind of thing, which is another, we're kind of blind on the story in this aspect.
And then OP continues, we do have a healthy relationship in feelings terms. When I notice she's off, we talk, although she never wanted to see the psychologist, but she likes to talk about why she feels weird that day, but always ends up saying that that's just her personality. We've been always, okay, so she's saying that's just her personality, the dead inside.
Right, yes.
We've always been close friends since we met, but it surprised me when I saw that she actually likes being hugged by someone. That someone is an OP. And then particular use 6913 says, I think that's pretty odd. Surely at some point your paths would cross, even if you weren't wondering. Does your wife give an explanation as to why the friend wouldn't care to? I don't know many people who wouldn't want to meet their best friend's significant other. Oh, I guess this is in relation to
the female friend.
The female friend and OP not meeting.
Yeah, right.
OP says same. That's why I feel it's odd. My wife just says that her friend isn't interested in meeting me and closes the conversation. I think that's fucking weird.
That's probably the biggest
flag,
red flag that we've seen thus far, probably.
Red flag. Yeah, I think that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge red flag if your partner is uncomfortable with meeting your friends, or vice versa, your friends are uncomfortable meeting your partner.
Well, this one is also like targeted. It's not like, oh, I don't want to hang out with your friend group or your friends. Yeah. I don't want to hang out with your
significant other. That's like, that is the person.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Especially if there's like no reason behind it yet. It's just like that person exists. It's not like OP insulted her or something or whatever. It's just the fact that it feels like it's just the fact that OP is the wife's significant other.
Right.
I feel that if I insist on asking the reason, we would end up arguing, and I always prefer to avoid that. I might think this deserves some conflict.
Yeah.
I know her friend left the town to live in the capital, and sometimes people become elitist after living there, but that wouldn't make sense since I lived half my life in the capital, and while my family is religious, I was never the strict religious type, so I don't get why her friend doesn't want to meet me.
It is strange.
It is strange. So we have another update.
Oh,
some piping hot tea.
Let's
some
drink
juiciness. So this is November 9th, 2023. Thank you for the advice. And although I got a few replies, everyone was very friendly. Thanks, Reddit.
There we go.
I decided to confront my wife and ask about the photos with her friend during high school.
Here we go.
Everyone in the post said that they are most likely just friends and made my mind feel more in peace, thinking that I was overthinking. But when I showed her the photos, she began to breathe fast in what I think was a panic attack.
Oh dear. You know what? I don't really need it, but
oh, are we getting a conspiracy theory?
I might have to conspiracy theory. Sadly, I don't know if this one is a moonshot. Seems like she's in love with the friend.
Or that, and
hold on, Sam has to join us.
My conspiracy is that they actually did date, and the reason they stopped dating is because of religious reasons. That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, like what if the wife was keeping it a secret, and then the female best friend is like, "Listen, I do not want to stay in this relationship if you don't want to make it public."
And she's like, "I couldn't do that with my family.
I couldn't do that with my family." But now there's some sort of reason that things are rekindling. Something. Maybe she's planning on leaving OP. And the female best friend is saying like, listen, the first time we had a relationship, you wouldn't come out, but maybe now the wife is saying, hey, listen, I promise, let's get together, let's rekindle, let's build our friendship back again. And I promise you, I will work up to exiting the relationship, which is why she's having a panic attack right now.
My conspiracy theory is that, but the opposite.
Oh.
That the friend is comfortable with a secret relationship now.
Oh. But my only take on that is why would they have ended it in the first place? But
because initially the friend wasn't okay with it, but now the bond is just so close. It's like, hey, I'm fine being side hoe.
Maybe
but really main hoe in your heart, side hoe. Main hoe in your heart, side hoe to the people.
It could be the 40. Hey, if I haven't met someone by 40, you've heard that pact that people will do.
Yeah, if I haven't fallen in love with my husband by 40, I will date you.
I have a friend that made a pact with a guy.
Really?
Like that. Yes.
With 40?
Yeah, she was like, this guy is like, I know he would be an amazing husband, an amazing father, everything. And if I don't find a man by 40, we're just going to do it. Now, I think she was joking, but like half joking.
Half joking. Yeah.
So
do you guys have any of those ultimatums with any of your friends? Put your examples in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Listen, no, but I think I want to get out of conspiracy land and get back to the reality.
Story. I helped her calm down, but then she got upset because I sneak in her friend's Facebook. I knew she was trying to change the subject because she loves to do that. So I got serious and told her to talk. After a few long minutes full of her trying to change the topic, she ended up telling me everything.
Oh boy.
indeed, she and her friend used to be a couple during high school and they were friends since kindergarten.
Oh, wow. Friends since kindergarten.
Dang. That's like me and Christian.
Deep. Oh, that's true. But did we change the genders for this story? Is this
really
a secret Sam submission?
They kept the relationship as a secret, pretending to be only best friends until my wife's parents found out and beat her up, separating them. Her friend moved to the capital that year and they never saw each other again. But for what my wife said and showed, they never stopped loving each other.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And the thing is, like, I don't know if I can be like mad at the wife. It's just because it's like, it's the circumstances of the culture that they're raised in.
100%.
Like, and it's that, like, she definitely didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
But man, that
it's so hard. And
so
also,
hard.
like, I think there's really something to be said with, like, you know, growing up, probably all of her family's hate has so much insecurities.
Oh yeah.
Self-negative talk, like that times 1,000. So like there's just so much for her to have to break through.
Yeah. Because it's not only maybe some like cultural context that's a little bit less accepting, but the familial context is super unaccepting. And the fact that she was beat for that, like that, I feel so bad for her.
I cannot.
Not that she didn't do the right thing.
No, but
I understand why she wouldn't have.
100%.
So in some point of the conversation, my wife stopped calling her best friend by name, and without realizing, she started calling her mi amor. Which hurt me because in all the years we've been married, she never called me that. I asked her if she was cheating on me with her friend and said that they never kissed or anything, but I'm sure she's emotional. I mean, yeah. But I'm sure she's emotionally cheating on me. I mean, if she's calling someone else mi
my
amor,
love. Like,
I mean, come on.
I'd never call that to you.
Oh man. Oh dude, I can't imagine her saying that and then her saying mi amor. Oh.
And I'll give OP credit. He has been pretty level-headed and he was right.
Even in this, level-headed.
Even pretty level-headed. But we'll see.
I think he kind of like also just understands too. The other thing though is like, how could you be in a relationship? Like, it feels like he ignored all the signs of her massive unhappiness.
Yeah.
You know, like as we've said many times in the podcast, there have had to be red flags before. And the red flags are you thinking your wife's personality is dead.
In his defense, you know, she was the one that said this is a personality trait.
That is true. That is true.
I think it really depends on, like, I think there's a certain point where it's like, they're just like, no, I'm good. And you're kind of like, what else can I do at this point?
That's true. That's true.
We don't know where it landed in that line.
It's definitely not OP's fault.
Yeah.
But I like now we're like looking back, the red flags are obvious.
100%.
She doesn't know the concept of emotionally cheating, so she really believes she's not doing anything wrong.
She doesn't know the concept. Oh my.
I mean, there's people who don't know.
No. Maybe especially the phrase emotional cheating. Yeah.
The reason why her friend never wanted to meet me or even go to our wedding is because she hates to see her love married with a man she doesn't even like.
Yep.
And living a lie. I asked my wife if she loves me and said yes. Oh, but like a best friend. Yes, my own wife just friend zoned me.
Oh,
tragic.
God dang.
Tragic. She cried a lot, saying that she's really sorry for lying to me. When we meet, we really clicked as friends, and she told me that her parents insisted her to marry me so she could heal. That explained why she never liked to hug, cuddle, or do anything romantic with me. It wasn't because she was shy, but it was because she didn't like me.
And again, it's so tough because it's like OP is the one that gets hurt in this scenario.
Dude, each fucking sentence is just a stab in the heart. I'm like, getting the blood is flowing.
The vitals are almost gone.
I feel like she's just
all my main arteries are just spilling out.
She's just eating the heart, dude. She's eating and destroying his heart. Oh, I wanted to lose my temper. I wanted to yell at her. I wanted to cry and even run away because I was patient and empathetic with all the times she rejected my affection and I felt alone. I've been thinking for years that maybe I'm a bad husband and I was treating her badly without realizing it, feeling insecure about my own personality. But she assured me that I was never the problem. I didn't cry or yell, just left the house and came to my sister's house. We didn't talk about divorce or anything like that. I even think my wife doesn't see any problem with what she did with her friend, but I'm sure that I don't want to spend all my life in a loveless relationship with a woman that will never love me back.
Totally.
I'm sorry for the long post. I'm just venting at this point, but I feel like I wasted all my youth. I didn't expect to update so fast, but I needed to talk about that. It's not like I don't feel bad for her. I do, but now I feel even worse for myself. And there are some relevant comments and another juicy update and another juicy update. So we'll get into all of that. But what do you think? Do you think OP should like head straight for the divorce? What do you think OP should do now that we have more context?
I think OP should absolutely leave the relationship, sit down with the wife and say, I can't be, in a relationship where I know I'm not going to, receive love and all this stuff. However, I am going to game plan with you to try and protect you as best as possible from your family so they don't know that this is the reason. That I think, and I mean, I think, but I think he can, I mean, that almost feels like does he need to take that? Does he need to take that emotional burden of probably not say hey, I'm not going to expose your relationship to your family. Yes. But I think he needs to take care of himself. So maybe not game plan, but I think you're correct in saying look, I won't tell them the exact reason. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, we grew apart and leave it at that. And, I need to move on with my life. And,
OP should definitely 100% not stay in a loveless marriage.
Don't
do it. Please save yourself, OP. And honestly, best for both people.
Yes.
Best for both people.
Yes.
So here are some relevant comments. Alpine J says, has she tried contacting you since you left? Opie says, no, not at all. But at least for today, I don't want to talk with her either. King Thunder Flash says, you need to divorce her and go completely no contact. I'm curious if you believe in the no contact thing after I read this. You deserve so much better than that toxic woman who has lied to your face for years. I'm sorry, OP. OP says, I'm sure that I will divorce her, although I still didn't tell her that because I want time alone. I feel empathy for her and always saw her as a kind woman, but the fact she used me totally changed my perception of her. Thanks for your words. What do you think, John? Do you think she should go or do you think OP should go no contact?
I will speak as if I was the person in this scenario. I would say, I don't think I'm going to go no contact right now, but given that, I was in this relationship, I didn't know all these things, I am going to take as much space as I possibly need. Yeah. If you reach out and I don't answer or something like that, I'm sorry. I'll be honest. I need that space. Not that I necessarily want to close that door for forever, but I need to figure out and dictate, what I need for this and the space that I need. So don't be surprised.
Yeah.
If I'm
the comment about the lying to your face for years and the fact that she do you think the wife used OP? Because I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean,
yes, but not it doesn't feel like it was intentionally malicious.
Yeah, there's the context of the situation. I mean, I definitely the one thing that I would really love for the wife to see is the acknowledgement that basically the apology. I'm so sorry that you were the person that got roped in, and
she needs to be sorry. She needs to be sorry.
I think OP really deserves an apology because again, everything we've heard, it feels like OP really handled the situation empathetically
and cared. He's not yelling. He's not screaming. He's empathetic in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And to give him even a little more credit, empathetic in maybe an environment where that's not an easy thing to do. There's something to be said for that. So with the religious backgrounds and people and everything.
Yeah. And I think people underestimate how hard it is when you are programmed basically from birth with all of these ideals and these values and these stories and also shame. How hard it is to get out. I have a friend that is dealing with a girlfriend that basically grew up super religious. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of shame around sex and stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. And so even if she intellectually understands that this is she shouldn't be shameful of that, emotionally it is very hard to shed those ideologies and those things.
100%.
It's a lot. This brainwashing.
Yeah, I have someone who's very close to me. Their father moved to the States when they were late 30s. So you're telling me, someone in that particular scenario, someone grows up in a whole other country, a whole different set of ideals, smack into a whole new thing. There's so many reasons why people can get inundated, and it really is a hard thing. to
and
work.
I think like we don't exist with a single culture. Like
exactly.
a lot of us are raised in Western culture where we believe certain things and accept certain people, and we should hold in those ideals because we believe them. But I think there is a level of patience that should be extended with people that are not privileged enough to grow up with that love and acceptance that maybe is around like our relationships.
Knowing where someone's coming from. That's all it is. You can stay firm in your
Empathy,
beliefs.
baby.
Empathy.
But there's a little bit more to the story.
Oh.
Final updates, which is not true because there is another update, but this also comes from November.
Right.
Maybe nobody remembers my first 2 posts, but I wanted to at least post a final update because I'm really thankful for all the kind comments and advice I received. They're helping a lot. I came back to my house the day after my last update, and my ex-wife was there laying on the couch. The first thing I said when I entered was, "We're going to divorce."
Yep.
Good. Maybe that wasn't the best way of saying it, but she has a habit of changing the topic when I want to talk about serious things, so I didn't want her to do this time. She clearly didn't expect that and started to cry and have an anxiety attack saying that we can't divorce, that I can't do that to us. But what hit me harder was there's no point in us breaking up. The fact that I don't love you doesn't change anything.
Oh.
That hurts.
That hurts.
Which is true. I realized that our relationship was always like that. Her treating me just like a friend and me accepting that kind of trait. She said that she never cheated or anything like that. Even if I explained again what emotional cheating was, I told her that she's not even attracted to men, so there's no sense in staying married because we're just not for each other, and asked her if she still loved that best friend, and she didn't deny it, but kept insisting that we shouldn't divorce. I can understand why she was so desperate, but it made me feel used. Like if I was her pathetic beard, who she can always use as a shield for herself, or a dog who will always be happy with the smallest token of affection. I don't need her signature anyway to get a divorce, so even if she doesn't want to, we're 100% going to break up. I told her I'm not going to take her out of the closet, which I think is good.
Very good.
But if anyone asks, I'll just say the truth, avoiding the sexuality topic because I don't want people gossiping and assuming things that didn't happen. The land and basically all the things of the house are mine, and maybe I'm an asshole for this, but I told her that I will not give her anything because it's all mine and I inherited the land from my grandfather. I'm curious what y'all think of that move.
Yeah, good question.
At this point, she just looked sad and defeated, so she didn't complain or anything, although I will get advice from my lawyer to be sure. I told her that she can stay until December in the house, and she answered that she will probably have to come back to live with her parents, which actually made me feel good because my ex-in-laws are not good people, but for what she said, she's still talking with her best friend, so luckily she's not alone. The conversation finished awkward with me just leaving. Really quick, pausing. What do you think about the move to take everything?
I mean, like, I think that OP has done a lot and been very empathetic. Maybe you could say it in kind of a nicer way, but like, I think that's totally fine. I think that's totally fine. Ultimately, you know, and I think especially her saying like, oh, our relationship's still the same. Like, let's just stay. Like she's not being empathetic towards him.
No. She is not giving any, like, she's not giving.
Yes.
There's no give. She's like, I want everything to stay the same.
Yes.
And I want it to stay on my terms.
Yes. Which is all for her benefit.
Yes.
And against OP's benefit. And
OP, like you need to be happy too.
That's right.
And honestly, divorcing, I think will make her happier long term.
It ultimately will.
For now, I'm staying at my sister's house. I can have time for myself since she and my other sisters are out of the province for a concert. I didn't talk with my ex-wife after that day, and she didn't try to contact me, but I know that she told my ex-in-laws about the divorce because they wanted to contact me, ask why we are divorcing. I just answered, there are things that need to be resolved only between her and me. So this will probably be my last update because I will go no contact with my ex-wife after the divorce. We don't have children. Sometimes she started talking about having a baby, and now I feel really relieved of always saying that I didn't feel ready. Maybe something in me was already telling me that she wasn't for me. We don't have anything that ties us together. I've been going to a psychologist since I was a child, so I think that has helped a lot to channel my emotions. Many in the comments said that I shouldn't have empathy or things like that for her, but we're both broken people that suffer from a religious trauma, and I know how bad that messes with people's minds and hearts, which I think is 100%. A good thing.
Yes.
Having empathy for their situation is good.
Absolutely.
Some people in the comments were confused about why I stayed with her when she clearly didn't love me romantically, but I don't know. Maybe I always justified her actions because somehow I felt I identified with her. Maybe I have a hero complex, or maybe my sense of duty is too strong that I felt internally tied up with her and responsible for making her happy as her husband, even if she always rejected my romantic love. I don't know. That's just something I will work on with my psychologist. Also, I received questions like why I married her in the first place, and she was the one who said we should marry. And to that I say I was immature and young at the time, and because we got along well, I thought it was a good idea. For now, I just want to divorce and spend time with my family. In general, I feel numb and weird. I haven't cried yet. And in the session of yesterday, my psychologist told me that he thinks I already grieved the relationship a long time ago, even if I didn't realize it. I don't feel like I lost a wife, but like a close friend or a good company. Not a heartbreak pain, but a betrayal pain. Anyways, I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Maybe I'm being a bad person for abandoning her, knowing the type of life she had, but I can't save a person who doesn't want to be saved, and I'm tired of trying. For now, I will just say goodbye. Maybe not to a woman I saw as the love of my life, but to a woman who helped me and was a good friend for years. I'm really thankful for the kind comments people left, even some mean ones, which made me think maybe I'm too quiet with how I reacted. That's something wrong. I was never the temperamental type. I'm sorry the update was a boring one and not about me starting my villain era. That's not my style. Thanks, everyone. And John, there is a final update, but what do you think of what OP has gone through so far?
I really like how OP has approached everything. And I think all of the instances of like, I don't really think you can point to an instance where OP was like wrong or like too over the line or anything.
I feel like if there is a playbook on how to handle your wife being in love with her best friend, this is the playbook.
It is the textbook, the Bible.
The Bible, and also like the Bible in terms of like the best, most empathetic thing you could do, while also making sure he is covered.
Totally. I'm proud of OP, honestly. Like I you know, a lot of times in these stories, there's at least one moment where something goes wrong. It's like, okay, that was kind of an a-hole move, which honestly I think would have been understandable.
Totally understandable.
But like he really
doesn't do it.
He really didn't do it. Shout out to OP.
Shout out to OP. I was talking to some friends about like what morality means or like how to define it. And they said like doing good, it was like when the good that you do for yourself trickles up in orders of complexity. So it's like when if you're doing a moral action, it's good for yourself, but it's also good for like the super group. So it's like good for your family, for your society, for your culture, for the world. And I feel like all the actions he did was good for himself, but also to his familial unit and for all people that are experiencing this kind of thing.
100%. Yeah. He didn't do anything. A lot of times people could do things in this is for my family or whatever, but ultimately it's kind of self-serving to their ego or something. Yeah. This really wasn't any of that.
Yeah. It was self-serving, but also serving his relationship and everything else. Like everything was aligned.
Totally.
But we do have one final update.
Oh, let's get into it.
Hello. It's been a while. This was on November 30th. And sadly, the mods deleted my post 2 times. I don't know if someone is going to read this, but my sister, she knows about Reddit posts, showed me that someone posted the story on TikTok. Sadly, I read the comments, and beside the account changed a lot of things. I also read all the kind of comments, and they thought this was fake. So I want to clarify some things. 1, I never married her because I wanted a submissive woman. We were both like best friends. I don't know why I read comments saying I wanted a housewife when I didn't. Many times I offered her to work with me, but she never wanted to look for a job or study something, so I didn't insist because we were doing well financially. 2, I wasn't going to open the relationship for her. Luckily, I realized I deserve so much better, and to be honest, I already give too many things up for her to give up also my life.
Thank God.
Maybe some people think it's okay having a loveless marriage, but not me, not anymore. Woo! 3, I read a lot of comments saying he should help her. He should be generous with the divorce. But how do you help a person who doesn't want to be helped? I tried for years to help her, and now all I do is keep hearing about the horrible things she did behind my back that I don't really want to talk about. 4, she used you because she was afraid of coming out. I understand that. But do I deserve that? I deserve to be used? I deserved her to even use my money to buy things for her best friend? I don't think so.
Yeah.
We live in an open country. Even one of my sisters is lesbian and married, and I know I would have helped my soon-to-be ex-wife in the past if she confessed that to me. 5, we married, but she had countless opportunities to tell me the truth. She never cared to see me feel insecure about her. Instead, she kept insisting that we should have a baby. Now I realize that she wanted to make sure that if we divorced, she would get something since she never worked or studied.
Oh, whoa.
6, I found out her best friend has a wife and a baby. So no, my ex-wife is not with her, and the situation became even more messed up. But honestly, I don't want to get into that. My ex kept insisting that she never cheated on me with her physically, so I think I believe her in that at least. 7, I also suffer from religious trauma, and a trauma doesn't make you a bad person. That's something that's inside. 8, nobody forced her to that marriage. In my country, nobody does that. I asked her why she wanted to marry, and she said that her parents told her that she needed to heal, and she said I was a good man for her. That's why she used to insist a lot in getting married. So if anyone wants to know how everything ended, I'm getting divorced. It's tedious and a lengthy process. I'm keeping the house, the car, everything. Am I selfish? Maybe, but I wanted to think of myself once in a lifetime. Working for those things is hard, and I dedicated my life to building my house. My ex-wife is currently living with her brother. She never asked me how I was, neither when I left the house after finding the truth, but I did check if she was fine, sending messages the first days asking how she was feeling. I suffered a mental breakdown a few days ago, understandable.
Yeah.
Because she keeps sending me texts saying that we should come back together, we should have a child. I never wanted a baby with her. She insists a lot of times on that, and that it doesn't matter that she doesn't love me. She never loved me. Why would that?
How does this help?
How does that help? And we lived well, so I should go on with the marriage for her. It makes me realize she's only trying to make me feel guilty. So that just made me understand that for her, I'm not even human. Maybe I'm not even a dog in her eyes, so I just blocked her number. I understand she's anxious because she doesn't have anything, but it's not like I've never told her to finish a career. So to be honest, I just gave up on her. I'm too tired of the situation. I don't really know what she's going to do with her life, but I don't care anymore. My psychologist made me realize all the narcissistic traits she has. I want to move on with my life because I deserve that and because I'm tired of being used. So yeah, I don't know if someone's going to read this. We are. But I want to leave this post here because sadly, people like to distort the story. And I think that is where it ends. We kind of got some juicy updates of like more wrong. I mean, and we got some juicy updates, but we also got some like updates that were, I feel like, implied. Like there is a lot of dirt below the surface.
Yes.
If we were like reading the tea leaves a little bit, like what do you think are the things that he says he wouldn't talk about?
Oh, in terms of them and their relationship?
Because he's like, there's a lot of things I won't get into.
Well, I think he was saying, my understanding of that was like, I don't want to rehash these things because it's like now it's ultimately serving no purpose. But
and it's like emotionally hurtful.
And maybe specific things like them being intimate. Maybe like he could have felt bad about himself. Like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Like insecurity there. It could have been like with this one, he spoke about a little bit more. Am I being a good partner? Like maybe I should just do more and like all of these things. So I feel like those types of subjects.
Those are the things that he doesn't want to rehash.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's things that she did.
That she touched on and was like, no, I'm gonna make this something to be discussed.
No. I mean, like, it seems so. All I do is keep hearing about the horrible things she did behind my back, and I don't really want to talk about it. So there are more things that she did behind his back that he doesn't want to talk about.
I mean, low key, what if her and the best friend have had this relationship the whole time? And now that she's in the area, that's just like, she's like, now she's going to be here all the time and I can see her and go on coffee dates and like.
OP does believe her that they never like had any physical.
Maybe if they never had any physical, does that mean they weren't like essentially like long distance dating before, like under the radar long distance dating? Nothing physical,
a lot,
but like basically
everything else.
Emotionally each other's partner, even though they're both in their own relationships with. That was a bomb that just casually dropped on the side.
Honestly, but I'm kind of like that feels deserved a little bit, you know, the fact that. But why don't they just leave?
Like. Especially the best friend, because it's like she's already in a relationship with another woman, has a relationship with another woman. It seems like they seem meant to be together.
Children.
For better or for worse. Children, because
the best friend had a child.
But it's like, why stay in a relationship where you're obviously not going to be like you obviously want to be with this person?
But I understand that the wife's friend has a baby.
There is a reason.
That is the reason. That is the reason.
But again, like don't be a piece of crap. Like
don't be a piece of crap.
Just exit the relationship and support as much as you can. Then get into a new one if that's what you want to do. I don't know.
Pretty rough, but
pretty bad.
John, I think what is never bad, and is never a red flag, is getting into this next story.
That's right. Let's do it. I don't want to kiss my boyfriend anymore. Am I the a-hole? Sam, is OP the a-hole
for not wanting to kiss his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Did she get lip fillers? And he's like, babe, I don't want to pop those lips.
Maybe. Do you have a little conspiracy for us?
She got herpes.
Ouch! That's a rough conspiracy. But there's only one way to find out. Spill that tea! So So, Lumpy Initiative 684 says, me, 19, and my partner, 20, have been in love for the past 3 months. One of my love languages is physical touch, so I'm a very physically affectionate person. Me and my boyfriend have had problems before where I found he cheated on me over text a couple of weeks ago.
Oh no, not a great start.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag might be worth ending the relationship. Who knows?
It could be. It could be. He lied about how intimate his relationship with his ex-best friend was, who he still follows on social media. All of this happened yesterday and other stuff like that. When we're talking through some of the problems that happened yesterday, kissing was brought up. Before I get into it, here is some background. I am my partner's second in-person girlfriend, and his first was his first kiss. So I guess maybe there's some like online relationships or like long distance, but as far as like in-person relationships, this is the second.
I mean, are we counting the cheating that was happening over the phone?
That was in person, maybe? At first, I had to initiate all the kissing. Anytime he would initiate a kiss, it would be a 1-second peck, and it wouldn't be often when he did that.
Sus.
Another red flag. For my birthday, I asked if we could make out, and we did.
For my birthday? Oh.
So sad. It's so sad. Okay.
I want a birthday present.
Leave already. God, can you kiss me with passion? Oh my God.
Can you pretend to mean it?
Oh my God.
Oh.
We did make out, but then he pulled away.
Oh.
Not even on her birthday will he do it.
Bro, come on.
Good gravy.
Sell it at least a little bit, dude.
On. Just for her birthday,
Just
for one day.
It's 1 day.
1 day, one makeout session. I asked him if there was something wrong, and he just brushed it off as he's bad at it and inexperienced and feels embarrassed.
Aww, I don't know if I buy it.
OP says, keep that in mind. I took a step back and more recently have worked up to more back-to-back pecking and longer kisses. Oh, OP. OP.
How old are they?
19 and 20.
Oh.
So I can kind of see the young naivete at play, that like just not picking,
but like
young and infatuated puppy love.
There's the age-old saying, if you're confused if he's into you, then he's probably not into you.
Probably not.
It's like, if he's into you, you'll know. If he's not, you'll be confused.
Yes, there you go. Back to when we were talking about when kissing was brought up, he restarted why he didn't like doing it. And we have a list of 4.
Oh my God. That's what you want to hear after every makeout sesh.
Yeah.
These are the reasons that I'll never do this again.
Top 4 reasons why I hate kissing you. Number 1.
Ew.
He's inexperienced. 2. He's embarrassed about it. 3. Was something I don't remember currently. But number 4 was his ex was his first kiss and they used to make out. So when he thinks of kissing me in an intimate way, it just reminds him of his ex and he doesn't think it will change.
Bro, man is not over his ex. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Guys.
Freaking break up with him, please. God damn.
Oh, we can't leave it hard enough. Oh! Good gravy.
Dude.
Stop.
Please stop giving us all these red flags. I can only rave this thing so many times.
My
Jeez.
wrist is going to break. When I heard that, I felt gross because I enjoyed our kiss and it reminded him of his ex.
I mean, maybe his ex was a baddie. Maybe you should be glad to be in such company.
God, babe, my ex was so hot. Like, you're kind of like hot like she is. Like, you're in the same category now.
The fact that I'm thinking about her when I'm with you is a compliment.
It bumped you up from like a 4 to like a solid 7. Like, she's a 10, but you know, you jumped up by like a ton.
3 points. 3 points.
Wow, babe. I'm so generous.
Babe. Also, idea. Just random idea.
Yeah, babe.
Could you take this bag
that I printed my ex's face on, and then just
wear it. Just wear it. If we ever want to make out, just make sure to bring the bag.
Yeah. Could you? Let's just play this fun game where I just call you my ex's name. It's just for like kicks and giggles, you know.
Yeah. Can you take some like voice acting lessons? I have some recordings of my ex that I think you should work on.
Oh God. Now, I'm already weird about being touched by people. So when the one person I want to touch and kiss me, to say that kissing me reminds him of his ex which she heard him, by the way, really just did something to me emotionally to where I feel sick and I don't want to kiss him anymore.
Thank God. Fucking drop his ass.
I still love him and want to have a relationship.
No. OP, we were like one step forward, two steps back.
But I don't know if I can get over it. We have a conundrum right here, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we don't.
No.
There is no conundrum.
I know what you're saying.
Get over it. Break up with him.
The conundrum is, and we might just need some reinforcements from everyone watching, so please put in the comments. I don't know. How do you like break through to someone when they're just like not seeing it? Like OP's just blinded.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
You just say break up with him.
Break up.
Wake up, smell the roses, look at the red flags. They're right in front of your freaking eyeballs.
You just bonk them with the red flag until they finally get it.
That's a good question. How do you make that? I mean, like, I don't know. She's still in love with him. She's still in love with him. I don't even does OP know? Maybe she just needs someone else to see like, hey, he's in love with his ex still. And he has to get past her before he can date you. I think like a lot of times, I think maybe that's all that needs to be said, because a lot of times people are in their reality distortion fields where they're in the relationship and then they put it all on Reddit and they're like, oh, maybe I should get out of this relationship. And then people start commenting and be like, hey, you should get out of this relationship. And then some people on TikTok and YouTube are like, hey, you should definitely get out of this relationship. And maybe that's what you need to finally get out of that reality distortion field and break up forever. So hopefully this is the kick in the butt that you need to get out of this loveless relationship.
Yep, I think you're totally right. And then also, I think this is very much could easily be one of those cases where it's like this relationship just has to absolutely crash and burn and blow up to smithereens into a million tiny little pieces. So like maybe the ship is like, oh, it's like super shaky, but it hasn't collided
fully
yet.
Crashed.
Yes.
I think she needs to crash it and there be no survivors. And then as she's escaping from the wreckage and the fire and the flames, maybe she'll realize like, oh, like maybe I can't drive that plane anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's not the move.
Maybe that's not the move. But I would love to know what you guys think. Like, do you think OP should leave the relationship? I would also love to know about like any kind of relationships that you've experienced or that you've seen that have been similar, where people are just very unaligned in the love factor. Like,
totally. Like
people like their mismatches in terms of interest, I imagine, are very common. So give us your stories, break our hearts. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.